divers out there. My name is Sheila, and I'm your host at the Neurodive Corner, where you can find all things neurodivergent and also honor the amazing individuals that care for them. So I told you guys I was going to start scheduling the lives, streaming, and being a little bit more disciplined, especially now that we need anybody that has a camera, anybody that has a platform, anybody that has a voice should be at this moment engaging and educating and building community as much as possible. That being said, I hate when the light does that. It just shines out of my glasses and it's very annoying. So I'm just kind of like giving people some time so they can join today's live. I am gonna go ahead and send my thank yous to anybody that has been engaging with the videos, anybody that has been leaving comments, anybody that has been interacting with the shorts. The shorts have been doing fairly well. Our lives usually struggle, and it is kind of funny because we have a little over 400 subscribers, and I love each and every one of you, and I read all of the comments. So yeah, so I try to like be proactive when I'm doing these videos and because that's the way you build community, and that is the whole purpose of the channel. In my case, building community within North Carolina, and obviously trying to do as much as I can in my immediate community, and help as much as possible. But so today I want to start talking about something that I think is very important and might not appear to be related to neurodivergence initially, but I promise you it all ties. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that our country right now is going through some real life, you know what. I try not to curse in the channel as much because we do have some of our subs that are on the younger side. So I'm gonna try and cut back a little bit on the cursing. But yeah, unless you're living under a rock, you know that just today, I believe about an hour ago, in the media, they were even following an active shooting event. And the orange clown, Taco Tits, is posting a bunch of slop, a bunch of death to civilizations, and all of that crazy stuff that Dementia Duck over there does. But the problem with all of these issues, and the one I want to touch base on today, which is the attempt, the overt attempts to take away the black vote. Okay? Let me throw it back to the chat real quick to say my hellos to everybody that's been jumping on the live. Thank you guys. Do all the good stuff. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and the bell so you get notifications when we're dropping new videos, as well as please comment. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit boring and it defeats the purpose of building community. So, talking about how nobody's safe, right? So, oh, hi, Dan and Taylor. Thank you. Howdy, howdy. Where are you joining us from? Let me know. So, the reason I wanted to talk about taking the black vote and how all of this is evolving If you saw the picture of Representative Pearson being blocked by the sergeant of arms and kept out of a voting while the Congress was in session, and you thought that that picture was like circa civil rights movement era, it is not. It is very much 2026. And we have seen all of this last week and today the blatant acts of racism that are taking place, not only in how the political piece is moving, gerrymandering the crap out of red states, trying to completely eliminate, especially the black vote. So that is a little crazy, and it hits a little bit different because we, for the most part, a lot of people live under the fantasy that we are a post-racial country, and they will throw all kind of excuses at you. They will throw, oh, we elected Obama twice. I have a black friend. I have a black wife, a black husband. They come up with all kinds of rationalization. But at the end of the day, this country has never reckoned with its history of racism and the fact that it's systematic, that it is baked into the soul of this country. And there's an awesome Lego video from those Lego videos that have been dropping. There is an amazing one. I might link it down in the description so you guys can share it before it gets taken down. That speaks of how African Americans are not only feared because of the fact that black women are the most educated bloc in the United States of America, even though they are the most oppressed bloc. They are the most educated, and their contributions are undeniable. And powers that be fear the black vote a lot because black brothers and sisters are not going to let you minimize them, are not going to let you trample them. Now, even less so. For them to see these pictures of Representative Pearson being blocked from and being removed from serving in committees, it hits different because we're talking about peoples whose grandparents marched, and a lot of them lost their lives in the 60s, 1960s. That's not that far out. We're talking about people's parents, grandparents, great grandparents that thought that we were over the fuckery. And here we are in 2026, literally stopping elections that are ongoing and all of that. So, how does that affect neurodivergent people? Access. Access is everything. Statistics show us that black and brown people have the worst health outcomes, and that is directly related to systemic racism and, like I said, just plain old white supremacy and white fragility. Because this is the block with the most power, but the least amount of balls. There is like, they are fearful of everything. God forbid somebody lives a little bit different than they do. They freak out. They can't hack it. They were never taught to appreciate democracy and politics. And now that we're all cooked, they look to the sides and they're trying to figure out what went wrong. What went wrong is that we have allowed this country to keep us divided, especially along racial lines. And anytime a group a minority group, an oppressed group, loses representation, loses access, it sets the precedent for anybody else that is in a protected category to lose access. And that affects neurodivergent patients disproportionately. Frank V11, if you don't want to be kicked out of the chat, and I will make your life miserable, I promise you. I come from a family of military and police, so you can put that n word, you know where. And sorry to my to the people that actually care and are following the channel for the right reasons. Me talking about politics does not excuse disrespect. I will not stand up for that here or ever. So if you join the live and you can handle the information, please see yourself out of the video and please have respect for my audience. So anyway, like I was saying, when a protected group loses access, which we are seeing happening in real time all last week and today, we are seeing how our Congress is doing everything possible to rig the elections, to kick people out of Medicaid, Medicare. The more we keep backpedaling and losing access, the worst outcomes we are going to have. Like I said, if we do not support our Black brothers and sisters and get out there and organize and start having the difficult conversations and start admitting to ourselves the things that are factual, the fact that this country was built on the backs of Black folk, full stop. They are the ultimate survivors. They are the ultimate patriots because they love a country that very rarely loves them back. A country that paid them with 400 years of being raped, being tortured, being enslaved, and being treated like property. And like I said, the civil rights movement, as much of a movement forward as it was, and as much change as it brought, it did not get rid of racism. It just went underground until they felt comfortable enough that now they don't even try to be cute about it. They don't try to hide the ball. They don't try to finesse. No, they are overtly racist to people's face, no issue. And the problem is when we allow this, when we allow not only a protected group to continue to be oppressed, but when we just sit by the sidelines and don't speak up, don't organize, don't reach out, who do you think is going to be next on the chopping block? Right now, there's another 18 million people that are expected to lose medical health care. Most of the people that receive Medicaid receives that for legitimate reasons. And there's some severe changes to Medicare as well. So if Black folk lose representation, that is a loss for all of us. Because once we categorize somebody as second or third class citizen, then everybody is game, you know? And the problem is the neurodivergent community is at a particular disadvantage because they are already struggling to have access, especially in red states. Like in my area, in order to find a psychiatrist that takes health insurance, it's a mission. It's waiting lists, is days of research. Most of them do not take, never mind Medicaid, they don't take Medicaid. But most of them don't take Medicare. And a lot of them do not accept private insurance. It's pay out of pocket. So all of that is to say that right now, if you are in a minority group and if you happen to be black and brown and neurodivergent, you need to be building community. You need to start looking for allies. We need to start organizing. This is not going to stop. And we are going to continue to see the loss of social services and rights if we don't stand up right now for our black brothers and sisters. We cannot expect minorities, especially black folk, to be the ones that always have to organize and put their bodies on the line to affect change. It is time that everybody realizes that this two-party system serves nobody. They are bad on both sides. The right wing is horrible and left wing is bad. Because, I mean, let's be honest though, as bad as Democrats are, comparing them to the MAGA cult, the MAGAs are, it's like comparing stool softener with cyanide. Like, which one would you rather suffer through? I think, me personally, I would rather, you know, take the stool softener and have the runs for a couple of hours than take cyanide. But all of that to say that they're not coming to rescue us. They are there for the donor class. They are there for big pharma, big oil, big AI, which, by the way, keep an eye on your 401ks, 403s, IRAs, all of that stuff, because the AI bubbles is about to burst. People went already from buying beef to buying chicken to now buying tuna. That's how bad the economy is. The economy is in a free fall. And again, that ties directly to the whole myth of the welfare queen and racism. So again, we need to organize. We need to use our numbers. There is safety in numbers. There's a reason why movements like Gandhi and like Martin Luther King and like Malcolm X, it's in South Africa, you know, South Africa was able not only to stop apartheid, but they were able to have the racial conversations and start programs like reparations. They are far from perfect, but South Africa is not scared of recognizing that they have been historically a racist country and they are now trying to make those reparations. The United States, on the other side, we just deny and sweep under the rug and stay very cozy in our bubbles. And if it doesn't affect you directly, people forget in like 5 seconds. Hi, John motivates me. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Please make sure that you share, hit the like, keep commenting. Go check out the shorts and the other information in the channel. And thank you again. Thank you. So yeah. So I'm gonna kind of like start wrapping up, guys. But again, I just want to remind, if you are somebody that's neurodivergent and you are having some issues navigating all of these things that are happening and how they affect you and how they can, hurt you down the line. The main thing to do is educate yourself, follow channels that actually provide content with solutions and resources rather than, sensational and clickbaity type of things. And not only that, get outside of this world in the media and reach out to your immediate community. Start having the conversations, start building support systems because things are not getting better anytime soon. And even in the event that we do see a blue tsunami, nothing is going to change. They are going to continue to govern incrementally. And until we push, until we take our dollars and our labor out of the system and stop the country for not one day, not one march, for a couple of days with strategy where people feel safe and they don't feel like they're putting everything on the line, we need to. We need to start making those alliances. So anyhow, thank you for everybody that made it all the way to the end. Make sure, like I said, that you go and you check out the other lives that are way more geared to neurodivergent topics. And if you are into political satire and political comments, make sure that you check out the shorts. That's usually where I keep that content. As I always say, stay healthy, stay safe, lift each other, show each other empathy at the very least. And if you can't contribute or say anything positive, at least do no harm. Thank you very much and have a good evening, divers. Bye.